Boys and girls, hello and welcome to today's writing lesson. I know that some of you are very close to the end of your story. Some of you have already finished. Some of you have already started working on a second story and are even near the end of that in some cases. So that's great. You should be writing every single day, reading and writing, writing and reading. So important. Today we have a really important lesson on what you should be doing with your writing when you're finished. So you all know that we've read Owl Moon. The writer's name is Jane Yolen, and she has this really interesting quote on her website. Exercise the writing muscle every day, even if it is only a letter, notes, a title list, a character sketch, or a journal entry. Writers are like dancers, like athletes. Without that exercise, the muscles seize up. That means the muscles freeze. And what she means by that is you have to use your writing muscles every day. If you don't write for a long time, when somebody gives you a writing assignment, you don't know where to start. You don't know where to begin. So it's very important to keep your hand moving, keep your ideas flowing. Anytime you see something, just like when I showed you guys my story, my idea for when I saw that little blue jay in my backyard and I wrote that down, I wrote a note. That's what you need to do. Keep writing, keep taking notes, whatever you can do. Keep your pencils moving, and you'll become a great writer like Jane Yolen. So, what I want you to think about today, even if you're not finished your first story, is this. Does my writing make sense? I want you to read your story aloud. Find somebody, a brother, a sister, a grandparent, mom or dad. Read your story to them. Does it sound the way you want it to? Are you reading exactly what's on the page? Remember, you're not telling them a story. You're reading what's on your paper. And this is a great way to check to see if your story sounds right. Now, today I'm going to be sending home something called a narrative writing checklist. And for now, you can use this one here on the screen. Don't worry about the right side. That's for third grade. We're looking at the grade 2 side. Now, it's very important to go through this checklist so that you can check your writing. And I'm going to walk you through it. The first part says overall. I wrote about one time when I did something. Are you going to say not yet? I'm starting to, or yes? Hopefully by now everybody can say yes. The next part says lead. I thought about how to write a good beginning and chose a way to start my story. I chose the action, talk, or setting that would make a good beginning. Have you done this? Not yet? I'm starting to, or yes? And you'll check it off on your list. And then it says transitions. I told the story in order by using words such as when, then, and after. And I gave you a whole other bunch of words that you could use in addition to these. Okay, and then you go off and check which one is true. Look at your story. Did you use when, then, after, from there, after that, first, and all of those other ones? You don't have to use all of them, but did you use a couple at least? Okay, if they're not there, you might want to go back and find a way to put them into your story. Next it says ending. I chose the action, talk, or feeling that would make a good ending. And we've talked about this. Then it says organization. I wrote a lot of lines on a page and wrote across a lot of pages. So I want to see, of course, you guys are not writing books, but I need to see a story here with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there has to be enough information there. What are your characters like? Where are they? When are they? What happens? Okay, remember, you're in this story. So you've got to make it clear to me that you're giving me as much information as I need to understand what happened. Then at the bottom it says elaboration. I tried to bring my characters to life with details, talk, and actions. Remember, you could use quotation marks. You can give a lot of details. What happened? What were you feeling? What were you thinking when that happened? What did the people around you do? And then at the bottom it says craft. I chose strong words that would help readers picture my story. This is a little difficult to do. This comes with practice. Now, this is not the end of the checklist. Okay, and here's the last part of it, spelling. To spell a word, I used what I knew about spelling patterns. Okay, spelling does not need to be perfect. Not yet. We're not worried about that. We're only at the end of Unit 2 of Foundations. So try to spell the words that you've already learned correctly. If you've learned some trick words like both or shall or talk, those should be spelled correctly. You should not give me any writing that has old words misspelled. You just need to check them. Then it says, I spelled all of the wall words correctly. Okay, we don't have wall words, so don't worry about that. But again, if it's something that we learned from foundations, if it's something that ends with a k sound, if it has a sh sound, something that we've already learned, do your best. Finally, and this is so important, punctuation. I used quotation marks to show what character said. When I used words such as can't and don't, I used the apostrophe. And daily edit 20 and 21 covered both of these, so make sure you've already done those. And remember, boys and girls, all of these things that we're talking about, these aren't just Mr. P's rules. These are the rules of writing. And all of these books and all of the other books that you've probably read have been written by people who followed the rules. Okay? We have to be sure that our story makes sense. And if you haven't finished, or if you don't like your ending or your beginning, you can go back and watch my videos. You can check a book and see how one of your favorite books begins or ends. Don't use their exact words, but you can use their ideas. Okay, so remember, today I want you to check your writing. Okay, you can pause the video on the checklist that I just showed you if you don't have it yet. Okay, make sure you've got the punctuation, you've spelled the words as well as you can. Okay, just go right down the list I just reviewed with you. And be sure you're writing ideas for your next story. We're not just going to write one and we're done. The second story should go more smoothly than the first. So make sure you've got your memo book. Make sure you're looking for ideas, or if you remember something, write it down. We had a student in our class who remembered something from 2 years ago that she wrote down. It was wonderful. Okay? So make sure you keep writing, get new ideas, and finish up your first story and check it if you haven't already. The end.